What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another beer review. This is the Sacramento Beer Show, and it has been quite some time since I've joined you to try some beers. But, people still keep tagging me on Instagram, and I've actually been recognized out in public as recently as a few weeks back for the show by fans. So I thought it would be a good time to make another episode. And so I decided to do something a little different than I have in the past. A little sort of head-to-head competition edition of the Sac Beer Show. So I've got two beers here from some local Sacramento area breweries. One is Moksa or Moksa. I don't know how you say it, but it's up in Roseville, Rockland area. And then I have Moonraker, which is up in Auburn. So these two breweries are just killing it at the moment when it comes to their IPAs and even their stouts. So I decided to pick up two double IPAs, both 8.0% ABV, thinking that would be a fairly fair test. Now, the Moksa is called Layers throughout. Really nice sort of can art there. On the can it says it's a hazy double IPA. Now the Moonraker is called Hoppiness Unlimited. It's an Imperial IPA. Now this one does not state whether or not it is hazy. Moonraker is known for their hazies, but they do make clear IPAs as well, and they're all equally delicious. So not having looked anything up online about this one, I'm just going to go into it not knowing whether or not this is going to be a hazy versus hazy or a hazy versus clear. But nonetheless, two local breweries, Moonraker and Moksa, that are at the top of their game right now as far as IPAs are concerned, and it's two doubles, both at 8% ABV. So let's get into it. So first of all, the Layers Throughout from Moksa is canned on the 22nd of February. Today is the 8th of March, so a couple weeks old. The 22nd is actually my wife and I's dating anniversary, so that's kind of special. And then the Moonraker is super fresh. It was canned on the Moonraker is so the Moonraker is actually a bit older. Moonraker was canned on the 6th of February. So let's kind of crack into these. They're not going to be super over the top aggressive. They've had about a couple weeks to a month to sort of mellow out, and we should get a good sort of appreciation for what they have to offer. So first, I'm going to pour the Moonraker, and I can smell the hops and sort of like a resinous quality already. That's pretty crazy. I'm like a good 2 feet away from these cans. I'm using improper glassware today because I don't have enough space for proper glassware. So into this glass I'm going to pour the Hoppiness Unlimited, and sure enough it is hazy. And this is one of those sort of very light straw color sort of hazy pours. But definitely, opaque, hazy, nice finger of very fluffy, bright white head. Looks really nice in the glass there. And then I'm going to pour Layers Throughout right here. So this one, while hazy, is far less hazy than the Moonraker. So Moksa, I wish I knew how to pronounce that. Someone please tell me in the comments. Is it a long O or a short O? Moksa. I'm going to say Moksa because that makes more sense to me. But yeah, so the Moksa is still very hazy, but far less so than the Moonraker, which is like opaque. Not much in terms of head on the the Moksa, you know, quickly dissipating, you know, less than a finger of white, you know, white head, but just super quickly dissipating. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. I'm gonna taste the older of the two first, just in case the younger one is a bit more aggressive in the hops. It doesn't just blow out my palate. That's my thinking there. I don't know if that makes any sense. So the Moonraker is older by a couple of weeks. So I'm gonna go ahead and taste that first. Cheers. So on the nose, just classic sort of New England, little spicy component there in the nose. Like almost like a cracked black pepper spiciness. I get that sometimes. And the nose is pretty tight on this one. Just some sort of light, like pineapple, tropical fruit in there. You can go ahead and taste this. So this one's, I'm getting a little bit of that spice on the palate too, but outside of the spice, a very sort of a pillowy like gentleness. Yeah, it's got a little bit of that chalky thing that sometimes you get in like the hazy, which can sometimes be off-putting. I mean, it more or less just comes across as being very soft, but that sort of chalkiness that you sometimes get. And there is a bit of a, you know, for being over a month old, there's a lot of like aggressive sort of green, if you will, hop notes too, which is pretty crazy. You know, it makes you less afraid to drink sort of the beers that have been sitting on the shelf for a month, and you're like, oh, there's no way they'd be good. This is still quite good. Drinks far lighter than an 8%. That's for sure. All right, so now I'm going to try the Layers Throughout by Moksa. This nose is much more expressive than the Moonraker. I'm getting very interesting sort of like dark citrus. Like, you know, tangerine, that sort of dark, more expressive orange. You know, not quite blood orange level, but you know, it's got that very sort of caramelly-ness that a sort of darker winter citrus can have. And I just really get that citrus and not much else. Let's see if these cans say anything about the hops in these. So, Strata, which is a new one that I've never had before, and Idaho 7. So that's in this one. And then the Moonraker was Enigma Citra. So I don't know if that's a kind of clone of Citra or a hybrid of some sort. But anyway, let's try this. Let's try this this Moksa. So much maltier in comparison to the Moonraker, and also a fair bit more bitter as well. But this is just like, it's got a bit of that like sort of caramel sweetness that makes it more kind of well-rounded and full-bodied, to be honest. So this drinks much more like an 8+% beer. It's got that body and weight that you would more or less expect from a bigger beer. And then the notes are going to be those like, you know, all the citrus notes that I was smelling follows in the palate. But I'm also getting some kind of funky, like, I don't know if it's papaya or mango, even a little like kiwi fruit. Very, very complex with layers throughout. It's quite nice. A bit heavier than I typically enjoy when I'm going for a hazy style, but let me go back to this Moonraker and see how it compares. Yeah, after just having had a sip of the Moksa, the Moonraker just like falls completely flat, believe it or not, because that was very light with almost no malt character. It doesn't really have enough to carry it through. Now there is that sort of like biting, just like aggressive hop finish. That is something I actually really like, and that is coming through at the end. But like up front, when the Layers Unlimited was still fresh on the palate, the Hoppiness Unlimited was just like, yeah, the Moonraker is definitely more one-dimensional. It's like all about those hops, right? And not really about malt at all. And I mean, the appearance kind of tells you that too. Like, there's no like roastiness going on with the malts here. The few malts that do exist, but here it's a little deeper color, and you can even smell a little sort of caramel, kind of medium roast malt on the nose. This almost drinks much more like classic West Coast. And the appearance, while it is a tiny bit hazy, kind of echoes that as well. I think that either of these on their own would have been extremely pleased with. I'd say when I read hazy IPA on the can, and which the Moonraker doesn't even say hazy, it just says Imperial India Pale Ale. When I read hazy, or I'm expecting hazy, this Moonraker is more along the lines of what I'd hope to get out of the can. But when pitted head to head with Moksa, there's just a lot more there. Despite being much thinner in appearance, it's just got a big punch of flavor, which, this is, after all, a head-to-head competition. And I think the Moksa Layers throughout comes out on top. That being said, these are both excellent beers. If I had been rating them on their own, as per tradition on the show, the Moonraker would be a solid 91 points, and the Moksa probably a 94 to 95. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this sort of special edition. I don't know when I'm going to be doing one of these again in the future, but I always enjoy making these because I get to try exciting beers and talk about them to you guys. And from what I've heard, you enjoy watching them, so thanks so much for being supportive of the show. And if you're not already, if you're new here, please subscribe, do all the YouTube things, like click like, leave a comment below, let me know if you've had any of these beers, let me know what your favorite Sacramento area brewery is. Share this video with your friends. Be sure, if you found this video not through Instagram, you go to the Instagram, you search Sac Beer Show, or click the link in the description below, and be sure to follow me there. I probably post there as much as I post here, but at least you'll know, if I'm out checking out any breweries, anything like that. So I'm gonna kind of enjoy these beers and edit this show for you and put it out tonight. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I've enjoyed making it for you. So until next time, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. Traditionally, I'm going to pick the winner, okay? Until next time, cheers.